All right, so remember how we keep talking about AI getting smarter and smarter?
Yeah.
Well, Google might be about to change the game completely with this new project they're working on.
Oh, really? What is it?
It's called Jarvis, and it's not just another AI assistant like we've seen before.
Interesting. What's different about it?
Well, Jarvis is way more advanced than those AI helpers like Siri or Alexa.
Okay, I'm intrigued. How so?
Think of it this way. Jarvis can actually control your computer, clicking, typing, browsing, the works.
Whoa, hold on. It can actually use a computer like a person.
Exactly. Almost like having a digital butler living inside your machine.
Wow, a digital butler. That's a great way to put it. So how did we even find out about this?
You're not going to believe this. Google accidentally leaked an early version of Jarvis onto the Chrome Web Store.
No way. Really?
Yeah, they pulled it down pretty quickly,
I bet.
but not before some people got a sneak peek and the whole tech world went crazy.
I can imagine. So what do we know about what it can do?
Well, it looks like Jarvis is designed to take over all those everyday computer tasks that can be such a pain.
Like what kinds of things?
Think booking appointments, making reservations, even finding that one file that's buried somewhere on your computer.
Oh, so it can handle all the tedious stuff we hate doing.
Exactly. The potential is huge. We're talking about potentially massive changes to how we work and use our time.
That sounds amazing. Give me an example of how it might work.
Okay, imagine you're a researcher and a new paper just came out in your field.
Okay, yeah.
Instead of spending hours reading through it, you could ask Jarvis to pull it up, analyze it, and even draft you a summary.
Whoa, that would be a game changer.
It's just one small example of how Jarvis could completely streamline our workflows.
I can see how this would free up so much time. It'd be like having a personal assistant, but inside your computer.
And it goes way beyond just following simple commands.
Ooh.
Jarvis is actually learning how to make decisions and take actions based on what you're doing on your computer.
Really? So it's not just reacting to what you tell it to do.
Right. It's like having a super efficient assistant who anticipates your needs before you even ask.
That's incredible. How does it do that?
Well, that's where the concept of autonomy comes in.
Autonomy.
Yeah, so Jarvis isn't just following pre-programmed instructions.
Okay, so what's it do?
It's actually learning to understand the context of your work and make its own decisions accordingly.
Wow, that's a pretty big leap in AI. It sounds almost human.
Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. Google isn't the only one working on this kind of AI.
Oh, really? Who else is in the game?
There's another AI out there called Claude 3.5 Sonnet, developed by a company called Anthropic.
Okay, I've heard of them.
And guess what?
Oh.
It can also do all this computer using stuff, browsing, clicking, typing, you name it.
So there's competition in this new AI space.
Yeah, the competition is heating up. Both companies are racing to be the leader in this whole new field of computer using AI.
That's fascinating. It'll be interesting to see how it all plays out. So what might give Jarvis an edge over the competition?
Well, remember Google's massive ecosystem, Chrome, Gmail, Docs, the whole shebang.
Right, they got pretty much everything.
So if Jarvis is tightly integrated with all of that,
Oh, I see where you're going with this.
it could be insanely powerful, seamlessly moving between apps, pulling info from your emails, calendar, documents, all to get things done.
That's a good point. Google's ecosystem could give Jarvis a real advantage. But, with all this amazing potential, we have to talk about the big elephant in the room,
Yeah, I know what you mean.
privacy.
Right.
It's one thing to think about AI handling all these tasks for us. But what about our data?
That's a huge question.
Are we really comfortable handing over control of our computers and all our personal information to an AI?
Yeah, it's a little unnerving to think about. I mean, it's not just about someone snooping in our emails, right?
Exactly.
Hmm.
What about the potential for bias?
Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
How do we make sure these AIs are making fair and unbiased decisions?
And what happens if Jarvis makes a mistake with our data? What are the safeguards?
These are all valid concerns that need to be addressed.
Definitely. It's all very exciting, but there are a lot of things to consider.
Yeah, the developers of these AIs need to be totally transparent about how they're handling security and what information Jarvis can access.
Absolutely. We need to be having these conversations now before it's too late.
I agree. It's a crucial conversation to have, for sure. We need to think carefully about the potential risks. But let's imagine for a second that they do figure out how to address all those concerns.
All right, so let's say those problems are solved. What would that look like?
Think about it. A world where Jarvis is handling all those mundane, repetitive tasks.
You mean all that stuff we waste so much time on?
Exactly. Imagine Jarvis managing your schedule, booking your travel, even handling your online shopping while you focus on the important things.
Wow, so I could just kick back and let Jarvis take care of everything.
Well, not quite everything, but it could definitely free up a lot of your time.
That would be incredible, like having a personal assistant who never sleeps and never takes a break.
It's not just about individuals, though. Think about the impact on entire industries.
Like what?
Research and data analysis could be completely revolutionized.
Oh, I see what you're getting at. Scientists and analysts could suddenly process information way faster than they ever could before.
Exactly. And that means potential breakthroughs in all sorts of fields. Science, medicine, technology, you name it.
So we're talking about potential cures for diseases and incredible new technologies, all thanks to AI that can help us make sense of all that data.
It's not about replacing human intelligence, though.
Right, it's more like,
Amplifying it. Jarvis could become this indispensable tool that helps researchers uncover insights that might have taken them years to find on their own.
okay, this is where things get a little sci-fi for me, but could Jarvis eventually learn to code or even design new software?
Ooh, that's a good question. It's definitely possible. We already have AI that can generate basic code and even compose music.
Wow, I had no idea.
As these technologies get more advanced, who knows what they'll be capable of?
It's kind of mind-blowing, but also a little scary, right? This feels like a major turning point, like we're on the verge of something completely new.
It's definitely a big shift. And as with any major technological advancement, there will be challenges along the way.
You mean stuff like ethical implications and job displacement?
Exactly. We have to make sure these AIs are developed and used responsibly.
We definitely need to have those conversations now while these technologies are still being developed.
Absolutely. We need to be prepared for the changes these AIs will bring.
It feels like a huge responsibility.
It is.
Yeah.
We need to engage in an open and honest dialogue about the potential benefits and risks of AI like Jarvis.
And we need to work together to shape a future where these technologies are used for good.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
So what do you think is next for Jarvis? What's the next step?
Well, considering that Google accidentally leaked Jarvis, I think we can assume they're getting pretty close to a public release.
Do you think that will be soon?
They might even release it alongside their new Gemini AI project.
Oh, yeah, the one everyone's been talking about.
And you can bet they'll be focusing heavily on security and privacy features.
Yeah, they have to if they want people to feel comfortable using it.
It'll be interesting to see how developers start using Jarvis and other AIs like it.
Yeah, what kinds of cool new apps and services will we see?
I can imagine personalized education tools that adapt to your learning style.
Or financial apps that handle your investments and budgeting for you.
The possibilities really are endless.
It's pretty exciting, but also a little overwhelming to think about, right?
Yeah, it really does feel like we're on the edge of something truly transformative.
I'm excited to see what happens, but also a little nervous.
That's totally understandable.
We're talking about massive changes to how we work, learn, and interact with the world.
And remember, it's not just about the technology itself. It's about the impact on society. How will AI like Jarvis change our relationship with work and even with each other?
That's a great point. It almost feels like we're all part of this giant experiment.
Figuring out what it means to live in a world where AI is everywhere.
It's a pretty wild thought.
It is, and the choices we make now, both individually and collectively, will shape how this all plays out.
So where does that leave us today? What should we be feeling right now? Excited, scared, or something else?
I think a little bit of both is probably a good place to start.
Yeah, like nervous excitement.
Exactly. We're talking about standing on the edge of a whole new frontier. There's that sense of wonder at all the possibilities. But also, some anxiety about the unknowns is totally natural.
Makes sense. I mean, we've talked about how huge the potential changes are for how we work and learn and just live our lives.
And how it could change our relationship with work and even each other. Right. That's something to really think about.
Yeah, definitely food for thought. So before we wrap up here, what's your final takeaway for everyone listening? What's the one thing you really want them to walk away thinking about?
I'd say this. Don't just sit back and watch it all happen. Engage with these new technologies, ask questions, and think critically about the future you want to see.
Love that. Knowledge is power, right? The more we understand about these advancements, the better we can navigate all the changes they're going to bring.
Absolutely. And who knows, maybe someday soon we'll all have our own personal Jarvis, making life a little easier and freeing up more time for the things that really matter.
That would be pretty sweet.
It would be. But until then, it's up to all of us to ensure that AI is developed and used responsibly for the benefit of everyone.
Couldn't agree more. This has been a truly fascinating deep dive into the world of AI. Thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me.
And for everyone listening, keep those brains buzzing.